Hello, thank you for watching this video. So in this video, I'll be doing question 3 of November 2021 question paper, Mathematics paper 1. So these still the patterns. So this is the quadratic pattern, it seems. So I'm going to read question 3 and then proceed to answer the question that follow. Let's go. Consider the quadratic pattern. So we are given this pattern here and you're told it's quadratic pattern. So what do you know about quadratic pattern? You know that each nth term is equal to Tn is equal to an squared plus bn plus c, and it have the second common difference. That's what you know about the quadratic pattern. So let's go to 3.1. 3.1, write down the value of T4. So they want you to find, they have given you 1, 2, 3. They've given you 3 terms. They want you to find the value of the 4th term, right? How do you do this? So okay, it's a quadratic pattern. So it has the second common difference. So we'll find the difference between the two. Find this difference. And then, let's go. Say, minus 122 minus 145. Minus 122 minus negative 45 plus 23, right? What do you say next? Say minus 101 minus negative 122. Negative 101 minus negative 122. So that minus negative 122. So you get what? You get that your difference between the two is 21, right? So now here is your second common difference. What's the difference between the two? The difference between the two is minus 2, right? Then to find that one, you need to find what this term is, right? So you have minus 2. Minus 2 plus this, you get minus 21 plus minus 2, so it's 19 here, right? So to find the fourth term, you must add 19 to minus 101, right? So it should be negative 101 plus 19, that is minus 82. So the fourth term is minus 82. So your T4 is equal to minus 82. That's how you do it. Go to 3.2. What do they say? Show that the general term of this number pattern is Tn is equal to negative n squared plus 26n minus 170. So they want you to find. So 3.2. They're saying show that Tn is equal to negative n squared plus 26n minus 170. This is the nth term. So they want you to show that the nth term of this pattern here is this equation here. So how do we do this? So we know that 2 times A is equal to D, where D is our second difference. So our second difference is equal to minus 2, right? So divided by 2, 2 by 2. That means our A is equal to negative 1, right? Our A is equal to negative 1. So now we know that since Tn is equal to an squared plus bn plus c, we have found A to be minus 1. So what we have so far, we have that Tn is equal to negative n squared plus bn plus c. That's what you know at this point. So how do we continue? You want B and C now. To find B and C, you say, okay, I have term number 1, T1, which is equal to what? Minus 145 is obtained by saying negative, which is that, say 1 here squared plus B times 1 plus C. So minus 145 is equal to negative 1 plus b plus c. You keep stop right here. Do the same thing for the second term. Term number 2, which is equal to minus 122, is equal to negative 1, or negative that, times 2 squared plus 2n plus 2b plus c. So you have minus 122 is equal to negative 4 plus 2b plus c. So this is another equation, another complete equation. So you have this equation and this equation. The next thing you do, you solve these two equations simultaneously. How do you do this? Take this equation here and write it here. So you have minus 145 is equal to negative 1 plus b plus c. Then you find the difference between the two. This minus this is 23. Minus 4, negative 4, minus negative 1. That's negative 3. Right? 2b minus b, that's b. C minus c, that's 0. Then you solve for b. Find that your b is equal to 23 plus 3. Right? So your b is equal to 26. Similar, we are good so far. So now you have your b to be 26. So the only thing that you're left with is finding c. You take any of these two equations to find your c. So I'm going to take this one. You can take this or this one to find the value of c. So we're only missing c. What are you going to say? Minus 145 equal to negative 1 plus b, which is 26, right? Plus c, which is what is missing now. So to simplify, it's minus 145 is equal to 25 plus c. Then you transpose this to the other side. C is equal to minus 145 minus 25. So c is equal to minus 145 plus 45 minus 145 plus minus 145 minus 25. It's minus 170, which is this one here. Therefore, your Tn is equal to your an squared. Your a is minus 1, which is minus y, m squared, plus bn. What is your b? Your b is 26n minus 170. That's it. So you have shown that the general nth term of this quadratic equation is this one here. So now, go to the next question. So it's 3.3. So I'm going to clean the board now. Go to 3.3. Let's clean the board. Right? So, I'll read this question again. They are asking between which two terms of the quadratic pattern there will be a difference of minus 121. So, if you see, this is the difference of the quadratic pattern. This is the difference of the quadratic pattern. So, they are saying, if you see, this thing decreases, right? So, somewhere down the line, there will be a difference of minus 121. So they want the two terms. They're asking between which two terms. So what are the two terms that will give us this difference? They want the terms that will give us this difference of 121. So now they want us to find those two terms that will be here and somewhere there, such that the difference between them give us this. And those two terms will be on our quadratic sequence. So they want us to find those two terms in the quadratic pattern such that the difference between them is minus 121. That's what they wanted to do. Okay. So one thing that we know, those are two terms that are next to each other, right? So we can find the difference between them. We can say between two terms, let's suppose it's term n, then is term number n, and the term next to it in front of it is tn plus 1, right? So we can find the difference. We know the difference between these two terms. That's minus 121, which is tn plus 1 minus tn. You know it's going to be minus 1 to 1. This is the difference between those two terms on the quadratic pattern, right? What is our tn? Our tn is equal to minus n squared plus 26n, the one that we're given, minus 170. So the difference between tn and n plus 1, tn plus 1 is minus 1 to 1. So we can so what we need to do now is to find the value of n, right? And then we'll be able to find the 1 in front of it. Then we'll be able to find the values of those two terms. So tn will be negative into n plus 1 squared plus 26 n plus 1 minus 170, right? This is this part here. Minus, we have the minus. Now we put tn. Tn is minus n squared plus 26n minus 170 is equal to minus 170 equal to minus 1 to 1, right? So this is this part here, and that is that part there. Minus 1 to 1 is that part there. Then you simplify this and solve for n. So you have negative n squared plus 2n plus 1, right? Plus 26n plus 26 minus 170 minus. So only multiplying this inside, plus n squared, this times that, minus 26n, this times that, plus 170, right, is equal to minus 1 to 1. What do we have? This and that guy goes away, right? This guy and this guy, they all also go away. What are we left with? We're left with negative n squared plus 2n, negative n squared. This time this negative n squared, this time this minus 2n minus 1, right? Plus 26, which is this 26 here, plus n squared, which is this one, is equal to minus 1 to 1. Remember, look at this. So we said this time that's this one, this time this is this one, this time that is that one, right? So after that, what are we left with? We're left with 26, which is this, n squared, which is that, these ones are gone, and minus 1 to 1. So you see that this guy and that guy will also go away, right? So what are you left with? Negative 2n plus 26, or negative 2n minus 21 plus 26. So what is that? So left with minus 2n, this and that, plus 25, equal to minus 1 to 1. Transpose the 25 to the other side, minus 2n is equal to minus 1 to 1, minus 25. And then what do we have? We have that minus 2n is equal to minus 146. Then divide by minus 2n, divide by minus 2n. Minus 2, actually, sorry. Therefore, your n is equal to half of 146, which is So let me double check. Yes. So n is equal to 73. So now n is equal to 73, right? So the term here is n. This one was n plus 1. So if this one is 73, this one should be the 74. So we'll get the difference of 121 between the term 73 and term 74. So that difference of 1 minus 1 to 1 is found between term 74 and term 73. So what is term 74? So T74 is equal to negative 74 squared plus 26 times 74 minus 170. So T74 is equal to, so T74, pass that on a calculator, negative 74 squared plus 26, 74 minus 170 minus 3, 7, 2, 2. This is term 74. And then now, we'll go find term 73. Because we say it's going to be term 73. So which is the value of term number 74 is this one here. It's negative 3, 7, 7, 7, 2, 2. This is the 74th term. Alright? And then let's find the 73rd term. So the 73rd term, 73 plus 26, 73 minus 170. So T73 is equal to minus 3, 6, 0, 1. So that means you'll get the difference of minus 1 to 1 between term 73 and term 74. So let's find this difference here, just to check. So let's say T74 minus T73. So it's going to be minus 3722 minus 3601, which is equal to negative 3722 minus negative 3601. So it's minus 1 to 1. So we are certain that the difference of negative 1 to 1 will be found between the 74th and the 73rd term. And the values of those two terms is this one and this one here. Because they wanted the one between which two terms of the quadratic term, between which two terms of the quadratic number pattern will there be a difference of negative 1 to 1 between term 74 and term 73. And that difference and those terms will have the value of this, and you can see the difference there as well. So we got this one. Clear the board and do 3.4, the last one. We do 3.4 now. 3.4 reads as follows. What value must be added to each term in the number pattern so that the value of the maximum term in the new pattern formed will be 1? I'll read this again. What value must be added to each term in the number pattern so that the value of the maximum term in the new pattern formed will be 1? So you are given that pattern of yours. So this is 3.4. So the pattern that you're given was Tn is equal to minus n squared plus 26n minus 170. So they're asking, so what value must be added to this pattern here, right? Such that the maximum term of this sequence is 1. So what they want us to find, they want us to find some value that we can add to all numbers on this pattern so that our maximum term on the pattern is 1. So So we want to find some k, that is a real number, right? Such that your Tn plus k, which is also equal to negative n squared, plus 26n minus 170 is less or equal to 1. So we want the maximum value of this pattern to be 1, right? So, so we should say Tn plus k, so it should be this plus k at the end to be less or equal to 1. This is what we want. So now what we need to do, if whatever the value of k is, whatever this value of k is, when we add it to the maximum of this pattern, it should be 1. It should be less or equal to 1. That's what we're trying to find. So the maximum of this pattern is what will guide us in finding that value of k, so that k satisfies all the values of the pattern. Because if the maximum is satisfied, if the maximum value of this pattern satisfies this condition here, then by default all our pattern will be compliant to this condition that we want. It will accept this condition the condition we want. So now what we have to do, find the maximum of this pattern. Once we find the maximum of this pattern, then to that maximum we add our k, such that we add our k, right, such that the maximum is less or equal to 1, or the maximum at that point is equal to 1 at the maximum. So at the maximum, we want to find k such that the maximum of the new pattern is 1. So find the maximum of this one and find what the value of k should be in order to obtain 1. So what you're going to do is say, okay, to find the maximum of this, you say first find the position of it. So n coordinated b over 2a, negative 26 over 2 times negative 1. So we have minus 26 over negative 2. So this is 13. So the maximum is at this position, n is equal to 13. So what is the actual maximum value? So you will have to find T13. T13 is equal to negative 13 squared plus 26 into 13 minus 170, which is equal to. So T13 is equal to that. So T13 is equal to negative 13 squared plus 26 into 13 minus 170. So T13 is equal to minus 1. So the maximum value of this sequence is 1. So now we want its the maximum of this one to be 1. So what we do, say okay, so put our maximum here. So negative 1, which is our maximum, plus k. Now our new maximum should be what? Should be less or equal to 1. So k will be less or equal to 2. Therefore, k should be equal to 2. So you must be adding 2 in order to achieve this. So you must add 2 to all terms here. If you add 2 to all the terms of this sequence, then your maximum will be 1. So k is the value that you wanted to add to achieve the maximum of 1. So this is how you do this one. I think we're done.